Welcome, loving brothers and sisters, as we meet together in spirit to study the deep secrets of our religion. Choose one and put a stop to everything. Your karmic mother will soon be billeted and plundered after the spiritual world detonated the nuclear bomb of insights in the form of a family member. This filthy, demonic parasite has been revealed in the most strange, repulsive scenarios you can't even imagine. Even their staunchest fans are running for fear of the evidence. They think they will destroy one and then laugh about it. They think that the most lofty would not be conscious of doing the incorrect thing. They'll discover what happens when you go to war with the wrong family, and the cosmic erase button will be destroyed. Spiritual executioners now have their coordinates. The wheels of divine vengeance are whirling at full speed. Your spiritual awareness was surgical, not just strong. You were able to see through their veneer as soon as you focused your gaze. The gloom inside their spirits was evident. Every knowing look you gave them, every natural quiver at their touch. Every time you understood who they really were, it reminded them that they were dealing with someone with extraordinary abilities. They were terrified even before you had the words to convey it, since they had just recently learned who you are. You were not only spiritually gifted, but also spiritually hazardous to their objectives. Your talents were not haphazard. They were meant to uncover others like them. They were aware that you were born with an inbuilt inclination for wrongdoing. Your whole childhood was spent investigating, documenting, and inventing methods to undermine your abilities. Each time you demonstrated spiritual vision, they hid it as evidence of your danger. They took notes on your prophetic dreams. They planned countermeasures once you caught them lying. They would manufacture conditions to make you seem unstable. They would be surprised if you responded to their negative energy. When they pushed your buttons in public and used your gifts, they would expose you to mockery for your divine connection by revealing your personal spiritual experiences with people who would mock you. Their favorite weapon against you was your natural empathy. When you tried to defend yourself, they would play the victim after causing you significant pain. After violating your confidence, they would trick you into believing you were having difficulty remembering things. They studied your triggers, memorized your vulnerabilities, and exploited your loving personality against you. Something terrible is exposed by the well-planned precision of their strikes. They were more aware of your power than you were. They saw your ability to disclose their true nature, and they sought to stop you before you achieved full spiritual growth, because they saw the danger your awakening posed to their diabolical plan. If you are experiencing heavenly love, now is the moment to share. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to donate $10 or more and help us share God's blessings. What you do is being observed and serves as a seed, and it will return to you 1,000,000 times over in the future. What follows will explain why they were so eager to silence you, and how their desperation eventually led to their complete destruction. They had secret victory parties whenever you suffered. Not just quiet pleasure, but genuine celebrations. They would send notes, contact pals, and even videotape your breakdowns as prizes. Every time they were successful in manipulating you, they created photo albums of your worst moments. They recorded it in their journals. They hosted parties after their interference caused relationships to collapse. They rejoiced as if they had won the lotto when their sabotage resulted in the disappearance of opportunities. When you had mental health problems as a result of their gaslighting, they treated it like it was Christmas morning, the most disgusting feature. Frequently, they were planning the disasters they were honoring. They would encourage others to oppose you, then rejoiced when those relationships broke. They would cause financial issues and then revel in your misery when people accepted the falsehoods they spread about your mental health.
They would celebrate, and what follows will show you the depths of their depravity. Throughout innumerable lives, incarnations, and efforts to derail your divine destiny, the spiritual world has gathered evidence against them. They have been seeking your soul for some time, behaving like your mother and using the same tactics to prevent you from accomplishing your spiritual goal. They were successful in past lives by persuading authorities that you were possessed. They had you killed. They claimed you were insane and had you hospitalized. They instilled fear about your abilities and burnt you as a witch. They recruited pals to turn against you at critical moments in your spiritual development. Friends will forsake you, and lovers will betray you. Over centuries, the pattern has remained consistent. They convinced church leaders in the Middle Ages that you were associated with demons. They offered evidence of your paranormal activities during the witch trials. In subsequent incarnations, they declared you mentally unfit since you had used medical facilities over your several lifetimes. They have filled a range of roles, including mother, wife, close friend, and religious figure. The underlying purpose remained the same: end your spiritual enlightenment at any cost. The role and techniques changed as the times did. They were filled with joy throughout their whole lives, believing that they had permanently blocked your growth. They were ignorant that your divine purpose continues beyond death and that you would always return stronger, more resilient, more determined. The cosmic evidence of their repeated interference throughout the lives establishes an unassailable case against them. This is about years of spiritual warfare they have waged against your soul, not just what they did to you in this lifetime. Throughout their numerous lives, they have left a trail of spiritual destruction. They have poisoned villages via deception and manipulation, destroyed families in an effort to stop you, and twisted other spirits to work against you. The spiritual world has been monitoring, documenting, and building a case that goes beyond years or decades to lifetimes. This lifetime was supposed to be their last victory. Rather, it has led to their last downfall. Here are the reasons for this incarnation's uniqueness and why their intentions failed terribly. You had had such sophisticated, complex, and effective spiritual protection from birth that every assault they launched was utilized as ammunition against them. They couldn't figure out why their usual techniques weren't working, even though they could see that some of them were failing. You were kept alive by physical protection. There were near-fatal moments when they faked accidents, but you escaped unharmed. Emotional protection allowed you to heal from trauma faster than the repeated antics. Because of mental defense, their gaslighting did not completely change your reality. Their curses were revealed to be hidden benefits owing to spiritual protection. The defense operates on multiple frequencies at once. Guardian angels circle your energy field in shifts. Ancestral spirits from your bloodline strengthened their defenses against their assaults, while celestial messengers absorbed and returned their negative energy. Every assault has been recorded by your security staff. Every curse they said throughout your lives was logged. Every scheme they devised was monitored. Every celebration of your pain was captured. They never realized they were battling the whole heavenly order, not just you. Every attack on you was an assault on the fundamental order of God. Every conspiracy against you violated cosmic law. Every celebration of your misery insulted God's justice. The guards encircling you have been gathering information while also being protective. In addition to their actions against you in this incarnation, your guardian angels have been creating a comprehensive file case including all previous lives in which they impeded your goal. They sent people to harm you. However, those individuals either changed their minds at the last minute or revealed the sender instead. As they thought to keep you away from them, other and better opportunities will emerge. When they sought to isolate you, new connections would arise almost miraculously. The encircling defensive grid has been so effective that practically all of them have failed. Every big scheme they initiated not only failed but also backfired, producing further evidence against them. Not only has the protection around you kept you safe, but it has also prepared them for the ultimate spiritual prosecution. In the spiritual realm, Where there are no jams, dishonest judges, or ways out, that evidence will now be utilized to deliver justice. The next step marks the moment when everything is irreversibly transformed. Their perfectly manufactured world is crumbling in real time as you read this. They're talking behind their backs with the people they trust most. Allies trade notes on their activities. They depended on those who allowed them to assault you. You have realized that they were fooled in the same manner that you were. Every act of trust is rewarded abundantly by God. You may participate in this heavenly call by donating dollars using the mega thank you button. If your roots are linked to Him, your fruit will prosper. This avalanche was produced by a particular incident. A long-held secret was recently revealed by someone they completely trusted. This person could no longer keep quiet after seeing something so heinous and clearly cruel about how they treated you. This admission unlocked the floodgates. Others started to come forward with their own witness accounts. Those who had turned against you now realized they were deceived. Friends who tolerated the abuse or felt guilty. And family members who had been quiet are finding their voices. The data offered extends beyond basic emotional manipulation. There is recorded proof of premeditated psychological warfare, including text messages in which the culprit brags about ruining you. They recorded conversations in which they planned your destruction, as well as notebooks in which they documented their manipulation tactics. Someone from their close group, someone who followed the festival rituals, or someone who felt obligated to participate in schemes against you was the one who shattered the hush. And it was not who they had anticipated. This person was very disturbed by what they observed, so they diligently chronicled it. Following this individual's statement, others started to feel more comfortable speaking out. Stories that had been kept hidden for years started to be revealed. When the dam collapsed, a flood of evidence surfaced, all pointing to the same conclusion. This person was a crafty predator who had been slowly destroying you for their own perverted pleasure. They can feel the spiritual pressure building around them like a vice, making their terror evident. They're trying to manage the already out-of-control narrative by making desperate phone calls and sending frantic texts to convince others that their accusers are lying or ignorant. They are having damage control discussions to stop the bleeding in their support system. They are threatening others, offering bribes, and soliciting the assistance of old friends as the spiritual world draws in. The following describes what is occurring to them physically. The darkness they have held for so long is now manifesting itself in ways that are becoming more difficult to hide. Those who have not seen them in a while will be surprised by the transformation. The genuine them is revealing itself, and the mask they've worn for decades has become too heavy to bear. Their eyes seem harsher, less human, and more calculating. They are now surrounded by darkness, which naturally frightens people. Anyone with good survival instincts would be concerned by the predatory tone of their look. Anyone who values spirituality finds their presence burdensome. Others describe feeling tired after spending time with them due to the hostile environment surrounding them. Animals avoid them instinctively because they are disorganized and uncomfortable.
Children who were previously comfortable with them become anxious when they are near them. They look to be aging swiftly, as if spiritual corruption had accelerated their physical deterioration. Medical professionals are baffled by the manner in which health issues are spreading and worsening, symptoms that do not fit usual patterns, and illnesses that do not respond to standard therapy. Their voice has altered. It now has a sharp edge, making conversation difficult. They chuckle with a forced, hollow tone. Their expressions look more staged, artificial, and unnatural. They now carry themselves more forcefully and territorially, and their physical motions have altered. People have noted that they approach others without permission and intrude personal space in frightening ways. Their body language has become terrifying and unwelcome. They have been experiencing internalized stress as a consequence of maintaining their lifestyles while defying divine intent. They are experiencing physical symptoms of a spiritual fight, such as sudden anxiety attacks, sleep issues that leave them exhausted, and persistent headaches. Meanwhile, you radiate peace and brightness that everyone can see as you accept your own spiritual nature. People around you notice that your vibe is soothing and tranquil, rather than generating distress. Your presence provides comfort. People are attracted to you and disgusted by you due to the stark difference. Nevertheless, bodily expression is just the first step. Their complete societal destruction is what comes next. Their pleas are now being addressed gradually by people who used to jump to their support. Friends who earlier approved their activities are now making reasons to avoid them. Family members who participated in their anti-EU campaign are secretly withdrawing. This is happening like a landslip rather than gradually. They can't keep track of who is still with them because individuals are departing their life too quickly. Invitations to social gatherings are decreasing. Relationships at work are developing in real time. Their support system is crumbling. Some individuals are open about their choice to leave, explaining in unpleasant talks that they can no longer support someone who behaves in such a way. Others are just departing without notice, become less available, responsive, and willing to contribute. People are coming out and disclosing sad details about what they saw but kept silent for years. They are saying that they never believed the stories they were told about you. They said that they were concerned about participating in the activities against you, but they did so out of loyalty or fear. Former enablers have apologized to you, revealing the degree of the deceit they experienced. They admitted that they had been bullied, paid off, or coerced to work against you. They are presenting evidence of schemes in which they participated against their better judgment. Professional ramifications are also emerging. Coworkers are avoiding association with someone whose moral integrity has been questioned. Business relationships are being re-examined. Their professional network is losing credibility as users unfriend, unfollow, and block one another on social networking. Relationships are deteriorating as their digital network shrinks and their online appearance becomes more isolated. Their postings are getting fewer and less positive responses. They are getting more desperate as a consequence of their isolation, triggering the next stage of their destruction. They are anxiously seeking to contact you after seeing their whole world fall apart. They are using every manipulative method in their toolkit, including victim guilt trips, love bombing, claiming they have changed and creating crises that need your attention. The difference today is that you can see through any technique they use. Their attempts come out as uncomfortable and evident. You've developed spiritual immunity to their psychological assaults, as has everyone in their near proximity.
To stay in contact, they send messages via common acquaintances, attend family functions without permission, and make up emergency situations. They get more anxious with each unsuccessful attempt, realizing they no longer have their most reliable prey at their disposal. Their conversations are becoming more and more candid and urgent. They are making new commitments. They're making concessions they've never been willing to make. They are admitting activities that they had previously denied. In reality, their efforts at reunion demonstrate how desperate and manipulative they get when they do not get their way. People are witnessing firsthand how they act now that the mask is off in public. Everyone can see the manipulative, domineering person lurking behind it. They are seeking to induce interaction by leveraging family milestones, holidays, and birthdays. They create medical scenarios that are subsequently shown to be overblown. They're spreading bogus information about financial problems that need your assistance right now. The messages they are supposed to convey force the intermediaries they are using to contact you uneasy. These middlemen are becoming less keen to participate as they become aware of the manipulative strategies. Even people who previously succumbed to their manipulation are embarrassed of them due to their increasingly feeble efforts to regain control. They are getting sloppy due of their desperation, and this carelessness is exposing them completely. Your most powerful allies are the same ones that previously supported them in working against you. They are well versed in manipulation tactics, lying paperwork, and plan details. Even you were not aware of the evidence they are giving. Everything you've mentioned about these former allies is validated by the data. They are exposing their falsehoods, supporting your version of events while highlighting the strategic nature of their psychological warfare. Their evidence is so powerful that even the most ardent supporters can no longer justify themselves. The material given includes written accounts of their celebratory rites. When you were subjected to taped discussions in which they plotted assaults on your character and texts in which they bragged of influencing you. One witness provided a recorded discussion in which they outlined their plot to separate you from your family. Someone else revealed images of group discussions where they agreed to distribute fake information about your mental health. A third gave documentation of the financial techniques they used to induce you to face crises. In addition to presenting evidence of their conduct against you, the witnesses are sharing patterns of manipulation they have used against others, including tales of previous relationships. They have damaged family members, they have deceived individuals they have targeted with similar tactics. If you want to see God's wonders, act immediately and give $1 or more via Super Thank You on YouTube. Your donation is like a seed that returns to you once planted. Allow His light to brighten your footsteps. Every gift echoes His idea. Some witnesses are supplying you with information that protects you against any last-ditch efforts they may make. Others provide facts about their private conduct by providing information about existing schemes and future intentions, indicating how completely phony their public persona is. Over many years or decades, the witness testimony is developing an unmistakable pattern. Anyone can no longer claim that these were isolated incidents or that they misunderstood anything. The evidence is solid and overwhelming. Those closest to them, those who saw their intimate moments, those who saw the real person behind the mask, provide the most damning evidence. These witnesses are giving information that is only known to individuals in their own social circle.
The celestial justice system kicks into high gear at this moment. All the consequences they have been avoiding for years have arrived at the same moment. The spiritual rules they violated by causing injury to a person who was protected by God are now resulting in judgment that cannot be ignored or excused. They are witnessing the cosmic principle that everything you put out multiplies. All the pain they inflicted on you is returning, only more intensely. They are making the loneliness they tried to implant in you a reality. Everything they attempted to ruin is manifesting in their own lives. Anyone paying closely may notice the acceleration of financial hardship, lies, health issues, relationship breakdowns, and job losses, all of which used to take months but now happen in a matter of days. Everything happens at the same time and with an obviously supernatural intensity. Their commitment must be met in full since the spiritual world has reached a tipping point. They no longer enjoy the same amount of protection from their position of authority in your life. They are now living without divine protection or favor. Their actions have severed their connection to the divine, which is why their efforts at spiritual protection or intervention are ineffective. Their prayers seem meaningless and unanswered. They have not really apologized for their acts. As a result, their efforts at spiritual cleansing are worthless. They are seeking for spiritual counselors who will give them the advice they want to hear and blame their problems on external circumstances rather than personal responsibility. They are looking for prophecies that promise healing without requiring accountability. They began a spiritual battle against you, but it is now completely turned in your favor. They are now being used against you with every weapon they tried to employ. As their reckoning progresses, all the curses they pronounced on your life are beginning to manifest in theirs. They are now returning their joy over your sorrow with their own pain. Everyone who has questioned your character is having their true nature revealed. Everyone who blamed you is learning the root reason of the family problems, and everyone who questioned you is being forced to admit that you were right. Your vindication becomes undeniable as they experience a complete spiritual, social, and physical disintegration. You're becoming the strongest version of yourself. The abilities they tried to suppress are flourishing in ways you could not have expected. The voice they intended to silence is now a beacon for anyone who have been victims to similar abuse.
Your riches, peace, and happiness serve as constant reminders of how completely ineffective their effort to murder you was. Every achievement you achieve, every blessing you receive, and every pleasant moment you experience proves that their efforts to wreck your life were a complete failure. You never envisioned the opportunities that are now accessible to you. Doors that were previously shut owing to their interference are now crashing open. Those who have turned against you have apologized and offered their support. You now have full access to previously blocked resources. Mike, the founder of the Astral Atom-powered Obsidian Inner Order, issued the following message: I will never desert you. I will never let you experience this knowledge by yourself. I would never pass over your anguish as if it were just content. This is a covert lifeline, not just an RIC position. Too many of us have been exiled for seeking the truth, driven away by family, duped by cults, and afflicted by gifts. We did not make any requests. This is why I formed the Obsidian Inner Order. We now meet once a week live on Zoom with actual people and encounter a healer who is broken free from ritual abuse, a former CFO turned psychic and seer who abandoned Mormonism. Yes, the calls are recorded, so you may return to the field while on the floor. We are not a meme. We will not forsake you.
We're a miracle. To join the Obsidian Inner Order, just click the link provided in the description. You are employing your spiritual talents to a level you have never experienced before. You have a more keen intuition. You have superior judgment. You're better than ever at seeing through deception. The war has enhanced the same abilities they sought to eliminate. Not only are you surviving, but you are prospering in ways that, in retrospect, make their assaults seem ludicrous. Their fall and your climb are so diametrically opposed that it is unmistakable proof of divine justice at action. Others who have been exposed to similar deception are finding inspiration in your transformation. People are contacting you to share their stories and express appreciation for giving them the courage to speak up for themselves. When they are unable to participate in your accomplishment, a whole community of survivors looks to you for hope. Accept credit for your successes or take advantage of the opportunities that come your way. So they are watching everything from the sidelines. They are experiencing the full repercussions of their actions as they watch you triumph. Not only does their ultimate ruin affect them, but it also puts a stop to your family's generation-long cycle of spiritual darkness. The hate, cruelty, and manipulation that they passed on from generation to generation comes to an end with your win. The spiritual servitude they intended to perpetuate will no longer exist for future generations. Your kids will not have to face the same difficulties. Their influence will make the negative tendencies they promoted vanish. You guarantee the freedom of your whole family, not just yourself. You're removing the links that have held your family in spiritual captivity for decades, not only beating their deception. Your family is going through substantial and profound generational healing. You are getting apologies and promises to mend connections from relatives you have not communicated with in years. Family get-togethers are becoming more authentic and peaceful. Finally, the culture of manipulation and fear that has harmed family ties for decades is receding. Other family members who were deceived by them are stepping up and sharing their stories. The family is beginning to understand the root reason of the trauma and dysfunction that has affected several generations. Your family's spiritual DNA has been changed since the curse was removed. Light has replaced the legacy of darkness and the pattern has been broken. This is your opportunity to be fully validated. Everyone who had reservations about you now understands the truth. Everyone who has blamed you understands the underlying source of the problem. You were the only one who had clear vision. Everyone who challenged your sanity understands that their collapse is merely one component of your vindication. Another is your emergence as the divinely supported being you were always meant to be. Now that their interference has been gone, possibilities are starting to emerge. It is about the amazing future that will emerge after their malevolent influence is removed.
You're succeeding in ways they never expected you to. Despite surviving their most lethal efforts to eliminate you, you tolerate their duplicity. And now you have the clarity and peace that come with being completely free of their venom. The winner is the one who was chosen. Even their most adamant supporters are obliged to recognize that divine justice has triumphed, since the victory is so full, absolute, and undisputable. Their collapse is your breakthrough. Their elimination equals your elevation. Your triumph is conclusive proof that no weapon designed against the anointed will ever be effective. I've chosen one. Welcome to the season of ultimate vindication. The dream is just getting begun, and the nightmare has stopped.